Big result for Arsenal. Arsenal beating Man City 1-0. And this is why, Mukesh, I kept saying that the rivalry, the narrative is now Arsenal and Manchester City.
Sure.
Liverpool does not feature.
That's good. That's actually excellent for now.
Yeah.
Liverpool's got its own different narrative. We'll get into that.
We have a VAR-ative. we are saying our job is like, I'm going to take on villain number 2. Take on the main villain, which is Man City. We're going to destroy the crap out of the side villain too. So,
in a 3-act story structure, your story B.
But we're the kings. We're the king of story B.
Two hero के best friend का conflict point है.
No, we are Mary and Pippin. Now that we're going with pop. We are Mary and Pippin going on an adventure.
Yeah.
Having second breakfast and also taking down VAR. So that's where we are.
But yes, we're not
taking
talking
down VAR-uman.
We got it. I heard this.
Had to crack a Saruman Varuman joke.
For all the Lord of the Rings fans who listen to the corner flag, I feel like that Venn diagram is very small. Like the Lord of the Rings fans and corner flag fans, that Venn diagram is
and
barely...
after that joke, they became fans of neither.
Yeah.
They unsubscribed to both.
I'm just glad that I'm not the one cracking bad jokes.
Yeah, that's great.
Yet.
In fact, they went and edited J.R.R. Tolkien's Wikipedia page to VAR Tolkien.
Yo.
Guys, I swear, the only thing I've done different in the lead up to this podcast is I have some chia pudding because I thought that was some nice dessert to have and see what the result is.
Was there some weed in that? Because
I have
feel
no
like
idea.
you're fucking stoned, dude.
Yeah, some chia pudding and peanut butter I had. Anyway,
It's okay, dude. Like, you can eat unhealthy and not justify it to us. Like, there's no reason for us or our listeners to know that you're eating healthy.
No, I want to live the life of an actor or an athlete with none of the work or the fame.
Or
that's
the
my
money.
dream. Or the money,
Of course.
More, that's a given.
Fantastic stuff. No, we are talking about Arsenal versus Man City. We'll get to Liverpool in a bit, Mukesh. But I just want to ask Prashant, should we start trending Pep out? Is it time for him to go? Because 2 back-to-back defeats, and that is just not the Man City way.
Really?
I'm being sarcastic, truth. Of course not, seriously.
Thank God. I was like, how did you become so fickle? I was like, what?
No, but I've been a Pep out guy since 2017.
That's for a very different reason. That's for a very different reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. But 2 back-to-back defeats for Pep. And I feel like I feel like he was a little bit to blame. And this is classic Pep overthinking, overtinkering. I mean, his starting lineup was a little surprising because he left Jack Grealish and Jeremy Doku on the bench, which I thought at least one of them should have started to stretch the Arsenal defense out a bit. Yeah. But with both of them on the bench, I just felt like he I don't know what he was trying to go for. Was he trying to respect Arsenal a little too much?
Yes, didn't this game feel like a Wenger-Ferguson game? Like, it was thrillingly boring. I don't know how to explain it. It was thrillingly scrappy. Not scrappy, but it felt like a very
the hype was too much, basically.
Game. And like there's a certain way, like even the Arteta Pep games or even any top 2 teams that meet, right? Usually, and in the last 10 years even, there's been a certain like high press, high attacking game vibe to it, whereas this felt like a more midfield battles and pushing people out, like, out muscling people, physical battles.
Yeah.
It felt like, again, when we discussed in the podcast on a very unserious level, where we talked about how Pep is returning to the Premier League roots of 4-4-2 and boring football, where you cross it in and hope someone taps it in or heads it in. But this felt like a game reminiscent of that for me. It just felt like it wasn't really about respecting Arsenal. It felt like Pep was being cautious.
Yeah.
I'm like, bhai, Ambani middle class values nahi hote uska. Like, just stop it, man. Like, you play the attacking football. You have everything. Like, Bournemouth, Newcastle, these are teams that should be playing cautious against Arsenal. Like,
I mean, for Pep and for Man City, you guys have set the benchmark in the Premier League for the past 5-6 years. You can't be going away from your own benchmark and adapting your play for other teams. Like, you need to get other teams to adapt to the way you play.
Yeah.
But
So
I just thought his starting lineup was a little weird, and even in the midfield, Rico Lewis getting a start. I mean, again, I just feel very bad for Kalvin Phillips. I feel like
yeah,
Kalvin Phillips, or a player that used to be Kalvin Phillips, from what I remember of him, from when he used to play football all those decades ago. I feel like this game needed somebody like a Kalvin Phillips in there, because his opposite number, for example, Declan Rice, had a great game for Arsenal,
yeah,
and he's really settling into his role at Arsenal. He's becoming that quietly responsible, efficient, effective player. And of course, he's not like one of the fancy ones who'll get all the goals or he'll get the assists and all, but that does not take away from the dimension that he brings to that Arsenal midfield. And he was again absolutely superb in yesterday's game. He was very calm on the ball, very composed, made some interesting and important tackles and interceptions. So I just feel like whatever's happening with Kalvin Phillips, that there needs to be a solution right now, because when Rodri is not available, and he was suspended for this game, they are fucked. They don't
yeah.
have anybody in the middle who can do that role. And we've seen that in the past with Guardiola as well. Like, Fernandinho was that guy for Guardiola. And when Fernandinho got to the end of his career, they signed Rodri, which was a perfect replacement. Like, the way that recruitment worked was absolutely perfect, because I think there was a season or two where the two overlapped. And then Fernandinho moved on. They really need to figure out who their plan B for Rodri is, because right now they don't have a plan B in that position. And if Kalvin Phillips was meant to be that, wo plan Z ho gaya.
This is also reminiscent of the time, remember when City had Gabriel Jesus as a striker, and the whole narrative was, where is City striker?
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey guys, I'm right here.
Yeah.
And no one cared about the fact that they had a striker already.
Yeah.
I think speaking of tactics, it was weird that he played Julian Alvarez out. I think he started out wide, but because of his own tendency, he keeps playing into the center, and it looked like a very ugly game. It just looked very congested and ugly, right? And there was no like silky short passes, no one to break out of it. I don't know. Yeah, it felt like a very, honestly,
game.
Honestly, if I didn't know the baggage and the heritage of these teams, I would think that these are like two mid-table teams competing. Maybe like a Chelsea, Man United, I think.
Wow.
Sorry.
That game that game's gonna be far worse, by the way. If you're expecting
no. Hey, don't take the joke and all, dude. I feel like I'll have to be like, no, yaar, aapka team hi bahut acha team hai, and I'll have to say.
The Kovacic
full Hyderabadi event.
Kovacic foul though, because you're talking.
Oh, come on! He had to go out for that.
That was a red card, right?
That was
should have overturned.
Come on.
None of Liverpool's reds are even 60% or 2/3 as bad as.
One second. Muki, whose narrative is this right now?
Sorry, I just have to.
Why are you taking Liverpool's narrative again?
Because I'm saying it's the most. There are 4 red cards in that team. So I'm like, hey, none of those were red cards if this wasn't a red card. Like,
can I just say something? Man who makes it a point to include Liverpool, even when we're talking about a game like Fulham versus Crystal Palace, says there is no narrative around Liverpool. I just want to put that out there. I just want the irony to settle down and, fester, and everybody to bathe in that very irony. Now we can move on. You were saying, Mukesh?
No, I think that was a clear red, I think.
Yeah. It's surprising that we saw it for quite a while in multiple angles. And there was a reverse angle close-up of the tackle where he's clearly made contact only and recklessly with Odegaard's calf ankle. How is that not serious foul play? Please, if anybody can explain that rule to me, please do. If there's any City fans who want to explain it to me, please do. If there's any Arsenal fans who want to write into us and vent, please do. Because fuck Kovacic, he should have been sent off.
Yes, agreed.
Easiest debate ever.
Yeah,
easy.
Pretty much,
no debate.
Pretty much on par with, hey, which side does the sun rise? Like, it's like, hey.
Yeah.
Done.
It's also, I just realized that we spoke so much about Kalvin Phillips being like the option to Rodri, but Mateo Kovacic is obviously that option to Rodri. It's just
But
that I feel
Not really. Not exact.
I just want to say that I do feel that Rodri by himself can be fantastic in a 4-3-3 system where he's the only defensive midfielder. But if he's not there, then you need, or City at least needs, a Kovacic and a Kalvin Phillips to be a double pivot.
With Rodri, you still have an option of him actually trying to attack also. He still has like positions or like space to move over there. With Kovacic, I don't know how much of that space is there. He still feels the need to go back.
Yeah, I think Arteta's genius was playing, I think he played Jorginho, and so that Declan Rice could also push up a little bit, which I think made quite a big bit of, like, he put Jorginho in the right place so that what's his name, Declan Rice could shine.
Can we also do a Star Wars reference? And now the Padawan has become the master. Pulasta, you're not the only one with the Star Wars references in the world of football. We can do it too.